Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon mga ka-ABC, mga ka-awesome. Welcome back to another episode of Daily R's, the 3 R's we follow, the reading, reflecting, and responding to the Word of God. This is our spiritual feeding when we do it daily because it's very important just as how we feed our physical bodies na dapat araw-araw. Mas madalas, mas maganda para malusog, masigla, and iwas sa sakit. Ganun din sa spiritual bodies natin. Iwas sa sakit at busog-lusog sa paalala kung sino tayo, anong buhay merong klase tayo, di ba? As Christians, it's very important for us to always be reminded of why we are called Christians. Who is Jesus in our lives and everything about Him. And dito natin nakukuha yung sustansya natin. And currently, we are in the book of Judges. Chapter 12 na po tayo ngayong gabi, mga ka-awesome. At ang kasama ko sa stream ay si Kuya Jesse. Yo! Oh. Ang talks.
Hello. Hi. Hello, mga ka-ABCs! Kamusta naman kayo dyan? Hello, mga ka-ABCs! I hope you are all doing well, doing good. And yes, thank you sa pa-welcome, Brother O'Neil. But tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo sa ating ABC, sa ating daily hours. Okay, ano nang gagawin? Wait lang, parang may kulang. Ayun.
Ayan.
Okay na. Ayun! Okay, thank you, Brother O'Neil. So, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for joining us again sa ating Daily Hours. Mabilis ang kumustahan lang. Kumusta, bro? Parang pag nagla-live, naka-white ka tas naka-black ako. Yin-yang.
Yes, yin-yang.
Ikaw pa yung good, ako yung bad, bro. Black.
Oh, mukha nga.
Yeah, man. Alright. Pati yung background, parang dark sa akin. Ikaw yung light. Oh, no!
Ano yan?
Pero anyway, kumusta, bro?
All good. Oo nga, long time no see. Medyo mahaba yung araw namin ni Kuya Jesse ngayon actually kasi one of our dearly brother and sister, friends, kinasal sila ngayon. So, whole day affair siya. Sa amin medyo half kasi medyo exhausted na rin ako by afternoon. Kilala nyo naman si Ezra at si Kana. Congratulate them. They just got married today. And we were there today, this whole day. Tapos, ayun, nauwi, nakatulog, kumain. Ngayon, naka-recharge naman and ready for daily hours. Let's go.
Yes! Awesome! Awesome. Indeed, si Ezra and Kana, it is their wedding day today. So, kasal na po sila, mga kapatid. Kung naabutan niyo po sila, I think most of you would remember them, Ezra and Kana. So, ayun po. So, tama yung sinabi ni O'Neil. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman, kaya pa naman, may natitira pa namang energy. Thank God for that. Umuwi ako kanina ng 8, nag-power nap. Woo! Thank God for power nap.
Yes.
Ayos naman. So, yeah, tuloy-tuloy. So, medyo maiksi lang naman yung episode ngayon ata. So, tignan natin, mga kapatid. Tignan natin. Some of these things medyo familiar din. So, yeah. Babasahin na natin yan mamaya-maya. Pero bago po yan, syempre, basahin natin mga message ninyo. And of course, magre-recap din tayo mamaya-maya. So, tignan natin sino ng mga ka-ABCs na andito na. We have here Ashley Alcantara. Awesome evening, mga kapatid. Awesome evening din sa'yo. And of course, andito rin ako sa Facebook. Hi, hello, all right. Okay. Ano ba yan? Okay, si Arnel, blessed night po. Awesome, sabi niya. Hello, sabi ni Ken. And Alvin is also here. May dumaan sa likod mo. Good evening, Alvin. And si Ate Mayan, hello, good. Sabi niya, hello po, ate. Good. Good ka daw, bro. At si Leia, awesome. Happy daily hour, sabi niya naman. Evening, ayun, katuloy. Na-cut pala naman. Okay naman kami, bro. Yes, ayos rin naman kami, bro. Okay, and si Frances, andito rin pala, no? Galing din sa wedding. Hello, Frances. Awesome evening to you. And si Arnel Hearts, maraming salamat sa maraming hearts. Congratulations from me and Kat Kuyo. Congratulations daw, kaso yeah, we'll relay the message. Mukhang may after party pa ata sila, but siya. Thank you for the congrats. And si Arnel nagko-congrats na rin. Si Joshua is also here. Hello, good evening din sa iyo, bro. And kanina pa ata nakapag-power na Kuya Jesse. Yeah, ako, pag-uwi, 8:15. 8:15. Yan. So, mukhang 8 hours na yung tulog ko dun sa power nap. Sabay ganun. Weird. Siguro thank God for that. No? Yeah. Basta malupit. Ay, may kwento lang ako, no? Nakakatuwa kasi yung sa kasal nila Kana. Yung sa weather, wala lang, ang cool lang. The past few days, it was raining. It was raining. Medyo hindi maganda yung weather. Siyempre, prepare na sila, di ba? Tapos parang pag umulan kasi outside wedding, parang garden wedding kasi, di ba? So yun, medyo na more problema doon. Pero this day, ang ganda ng weather. Mainit pero maganda pa rin. So parang all throughout the day, maganda talaga yung weather. So ang galing. For me, I see that as God's providence. That's how I will interpret it. Ano? So, nakakatuwa lang talaga. Yeah, and most of the people would, I think, agree with that. So, yun lang. Gusto ko lang, share ko lang. So, thank God for the awesome weather din. Yun. And Jeremy is also here. Good evening. Awesome ka ABC, sabi niya. And si Kuya Kaloy, good evening, sabi niya naman. Okay. May rainbow pa. Naku, hindi ko nakita yung rainbow Sayang. Sige, imaginein ko na lang. Pero yeah, thank you for sharing, Francis. Di ba? May rainbow pa. Parang promise. Parang gano'n. Hindi parang promise talaga yun. No? All the way from the book of Genesis. After the Noah's flood. Thank you for sharing, Francis. Okay po. So mga kapatid, yun yung recap. Hindi pala recap yun. Nag-share lang pala ako ng something. Okay. So, recap mga kapatid. Okay, medyo parang na-energize ako dun. So, recap mga kapatid. Ito po. Ito yung pag-usapan nung Saturday. Kasi again, we are in our new schedule sa daily hours. It's every day except Sunday. So, nung Saturday, ito po ang napag-usapan. Judges 11 verses 29 to 40. Jephthah's vow and sacrifice. So, ano po yan? Jephthah is another judge, a new judge. And ang uniqueness sa kanya ay isa siyang anak. Anak sa labas. Tama ba, Brother Unil? Tama ba? Parang anak sa labas na sa prostitute yung mom niya. Ganyan. Gileadite pero mighty warrior siya, no? Mighty warrior. Kaya nagkaroon siya talaga ng potential din. And of course, God can choose anyone. Jephthah was the one chosen. Tapos, sa una talaga ang gaganda ng character. And for me, I saw this as one of his mistake. Okay? Which was making a rash vow. Rash vow na, alam mo yun, yung sinabi niya na, okay, if God will surely give me a victory, so, ano ba yun? May halo bang doubt or something? Okay? Parang bargain, yun din yung mga comments na nabasa ko last time. Okay? Parang nakipag-bargain siya. If God will surely give me a victory, then I will offer anyone who will come out my door. Parang yun yung sabi niya dito sa nabasa natin dito sa 29 to 40. No? If you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of my door to meet me, I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. Okay, so medyo din to, no? Ang ganda ng discussion last Saturday kasi the topic on human sacrifice. Nag-dwell din dyan. Tapos na brought out yung kay Abraham, yung i-offer niya si Isaac. Actually, maganda yung discussion. Maraming napag-usapan. Kaya check it out as well if you missed the episode. Pwede yung balikan. Andito lang naman. And yun po, I saw that as an influence na nakuha nila sa Canaanites, yung mga human sacrifices. Kasi ginagawa nga yan ng mga neighboring pagan nations who are worshiping other gods, like I remember itong Chemosh na ito, one of the gods na nag-o-offer sila ng bata pa ata, no? Human sacrifice. So grabe yun. Kaya dito mo makikita na yung influence ng mga nations andun pa rin. So kahit na okay naman na leader si Jephthah, he fell dito sa part na ito. Kaya yun, yung vow pa before their time, talagang they really keep it. Sineseryoso din nila, especially vow made to the Lord. Yun yung sinabi ni Jephthah, kaya alam mo yun, talagang ginawa niya pa rin, pinanindigan niya, and yun, sinacrifice niya yung kanyang daughter. Ayun po mga kapatid. So medyo sad itong part na ito, tapos yung comment ko pa na ako, no, talagang as we progress, parang palala din yung mga nangyayari. And abangan ninyo mga kapatid kasi talagang grabe. Ako ata yung nag-comment nun, no? Grabe yung last chapter. Medyo na-shock din ako na-shock talaga ako, sabi ko, may ganito palang part dun sa Bible na nabasa. Pero grabe, tignan nyo. Huwag nyo lang tignan, antayin nyo na. Abangan nyo na lang mga kapatid pag nakapunta tayo dun sa part na yun na how bad sin is. Okay? How bad sin is. And if we disobey, there will be really consequences. So ayan po mga kapatid, ang recap natin for last Saturday. And for tonight, ito po ang ating babasahin. Chapter 12, 1 to 15. Is it the whole chapter? Yes, it's the whole chapter. Maiksi lang naman siya. Okay, familiar. Conflict with Ephraim. Nagkaroon ulit yan during the time of Gideon. Parang similar, tignan natin. And then may tatlong judges na parang yung similar din. Okay? The last part, si Tola, Jer, and Elon. Tama ba yun? Tola, Jer. O dalawa lang sila. Si Tola and Jer. Dito tatlo. Kung gaano kahaba yung ibang judges, ito naman, dito kaiksi yung pag-mention sa kanila. Kaya naman, comment na tayo ng awesome, mga kapatid, para simulan na natin. And I'll be asking Kuya O'Neil to read for us the text for tonight. Ayan, nasimulan ni Kuya Kaloy. Pero baka gusto niyo namang dagdagan, mga kapatid, ng awesome comments para talagang awesome, mga kapatid. Pero alam ko namang awesome na. Pero siyempre, pa-awesomein pa natin. Okay. Hindi ko pa pala nabuksan, kaya buksan natin. Sa Bible Gateway, thank God for Bible Gateway. Okay, we are using the Christian Standard Version. And punta tayo sa Judges 12. Okay, Judges 12. CSB. Sige, share screen. Wait lang po Mga 30 seconds. Ayan. Okay, ba't medyo gulo? Uy, ano to? Ay, mali nga siya. Tama ba? Yan, tama. Judges 12. Okay. Brother O'Neil, ready ka na ba? So yung first muna, verses 1 to 7. Yan, ready na si Kuya O'Neil. Yan, andyan na rin mga awesome comments. Madami nang nag-awesome. Yan. Ate Mayan, awesome. Madaming awesome. Thank you po, Ate Mayan. At Ken, thank you. And Arnel, awesome tagger. Laura, thank you very much. So go ahead, Brother O'Neil. Verses 1 to 7 muna. Conflict with Ephraim.
Alright. Judges 12, sabi dito, the men of Ephraim were called together and crossed the Jordan to Zaphon. They said to Jephthah, why have you crossed over to fight against the Ammonites but didn't call us to go with you? We will burn your house with you in it. Then Jephthah said to them, my people and I had a bitter conflict with the Ammonites, so I called for you, but you didn't deliver me from their power. When I saw that you weren't going to deliver me, I took my life in my own hands and crossed over to the Ammonites, and the Lord handed them over to me. Why then have you come today to fight against me? Verse 4, then Jephthah gathered all of the men of Gilead. They fought and defeated Ephraim, because Ephraim had said, you Gileadites are Ephraimite fugitives in the territories of Ephraim and Manasseh. The Gileadites captured the fords of the Jordan leading to Ephraim. Whenever a fugitive from Ephraim said, let me cross over, the Gileadites asked him, are you an Ephraimite? If he answered no, they told him, please say Shibboleth. If he said Sibboleth, because he could not pronounce it correctly, they seized him and executed him at the fords of the Jordan. At that time, 42,000 from Ephraim died. And verse 7, Jephthah judged Israel 6 years, and when he died, he was buried in one of the cities in Gilead.
Okay, ayan po mga kapatid, nakita niyo naman po kung gaano ano ba, how would you describe the Ephraimites? Warfik? Warfik. Gusto nila ng gulo, pero, hindi naman sila sumama nung tinawag daw and so on. Kaya yun, tignan yun, nakontuloy sila. Dito sa verse 6, 42,000 from Ephraim died. Wow. Okay, anyway, let's talk about this. Baka may bago tayong insights or kung hindi man bago, ayan, this would be good reminders for all of us. So, mga ka-awesome at ka-ABCs, if you have insights here that you'd like to share, please do share it with us. Again, there is power in writing something kasi mas tumatatak daw sa utak natin. Kaya, hindi naman natin sinusulat, tinatype natin, pero medyo equivalent naman yung part na yun. Kaya, okay, let's go. Brother O'Neil, simulan mo na kung anong mga insights mo sa nabasa. Brother, go ahead.
Ayun, sige. So, yung first, na observe naman na natin to about the Ephraimites, no? Na even from nung si Gideon pa yung judge nila, masyado silang mainit sa bakbakan. Parang gusto nila laging umi-eksena. Kasi nung super quick recap lang nung si Gideon pa yung judge nila, meron pa silang hinahabol na kings. 2 king, 2 prince. Tapos, 300 pa lang yung tao ni Gideon nun. Tapos lumusob na sila. Tapos nagkagulo na yung mga kalaban nila nun. Basta yung mga kalaban nila nun. And then, late niyang tinawag itong mga Ephraimites, no? Yung clan ni Ephraim. Tapos after that fight, they captured the 2 princes, yung 2 prince. Nung nakalimutan ko yung tribe na yun. Tapos nagrereklamo sila kay Gideon, bakit hindi mo kami tinawag ng mas maaga? Yung tira-tira, yung mga napatay namin. Ganun. So parang, ba't hat kayo sa laban, gusto niyo lahat napapatay niyo? Parang ganun, no? Yun yung parang impression natin sa kanila nun. Hanggang dito naman na si Jephthah na yung judge nila at this time, still the same attitude coming from the Ephraimites. Na, eto si Jephthah, he won the war against the Ammonites. Tapos ang init ng ulo ng mga Ephraimites, bakit hindi mo kami tinawag? Sabi niya. So, I don't know if what they're looking for, is it just glory or naiinip ba sila sa lupa nila na wala silang magawa, gusto nila makipagbakbakan? I'm not sure, but their attitude triggered the conflict between among them. Parang civil war ang nangyari dito kasi they're brothers, and ngayon it ended into what? Them killing each other, which is not good. So yung attitude ng Ephraimites na yun, no, na nag-uumpisa ng away, mainitin ang ulo nila, parang ganun, it's not going to end well. Tapos may contribution pa si Jephthah dun sa attitude ng Ephraimites, pero mamaya natin mabanggitin yan or pag-uusapan. Pero dito mo, Ephraimites muna, they really want that honor or glory in battle. They want to keep winning. Siguro, gusto nila mag-ipon ng badges in war, a renown for themselves. Pero for what purpose? For what cause? Diba? It's still the Lord who delivers them their enemies. And that was mentioned by Jephthah as well. And may point din ako dyan mamaya, pero mamaya. Ayun muna, bro, about the Ephraimites.
Oh, thank you, bro, for that. No? Tama, I agree with you. Tapos, ang isa pang gusto kong idagdag sa na-share mo, na parang minsan similar din dito. Kasi yung example or yung sinabi ni Jephthah. Dito sa 2, verses 2, then Jephthah said to them, my people and I had a bitter conflict with the Ammonites. So I called for you, but you didn't deliver me from their power. Pero nung nanalo na sila, parang doon biglang sumusulpot yung Ephraim. So parang pride ulit. Andyan yung pride. Or nainggit, di ba? They were jealous probably. They were jealous na naging victorious tong mga Jephthah people or their brothers, Gileadites. And sometimes, parang ganun din tayo, no? At times, pag siguro, nag-isip ako ng example, pero hindi ko makaisip ng specific example. Pero yung illustration is that at times when someone is victorious, we also feel bitter, di ba? Kaya yun, parang sinisiraan natin, ganito, ganyan. We become jealous instead of celebrating. Kasi victorious, tas brothers or kadugo, or sabihin na natin na ka parehas ng pananampalataya, especially brothers and sisters in Christ, ang pangit ng response nila. So, makita pa rin natin dito yung influence. Tapos, grabe yung sinabi pa ng Ephraimites, we will burn your house with you in it. Grabe, susunugin. Dahil lang doon, ano ba yan? Anong problema nila? Gusto kong i-check yung response ng Ephraimites kay Gideon. Kung ganito rin ba katindi, mabilisan niya. Balikan ko siguro. Pero, tignan nyo kung gaano ka-violent itong mga Ephraimites na sa puntong ito. So, dyan ko ulit sasabihin kung gaano talaga yung influence andyan pa rin patuloy. Okay, hindi ko mahanap. Saan na yun? Challenge yun sa chapter 8. The Ephraimites asked Gideon, why have you treated us like this? Why didn't you call us when you fight the Midian? They challenge him vigorously. So, more on challenging lang naman and so on. So, mas matindi talaga dito sa part na ito. Yung gusto na nilang patayin mismo din si Jephthah. Kasi nga yung response ni Jephthah. Tapos, wait. Saan yung control ko? Ayan. Yeah. So Jephthah was saying again that it was the Lord that helped him. Okay, why then have you come today to fight against me? Tama ka naman, napakaganda. And may naisip pa ako pero hindi ko ma-organize. So, pasa ko muna ulit sa'yo, Brother Uni, for your second insight.
Sige. Pero bago yung second, parang gusto kong i-side by side si Jephthah at si Gideon. Kasi pareho silang inaway ng Ephraimites Pero si Gideon, he was very diplomatic sa approach niya. Hindi siya lumaban, hindi din uminit yung ulo niya, which is one of our discussions or insight that day na pag may isang nagalit, wala ka lang karapatang magalit, 'di ba? Dapat kalmado ka na lang. Isa lang pwedeng magalit sa conversation. So doon, it was the Ephraimites. Gideon kept his head cool. Kaya, na-diffuse niya yung situation. Hindi sila nagpatayan. And then, doon sa how he diffused the anger of the Ephraimites, he highlighted the Lord. And also, he highlighted them, their accomplishments. Sabi pa nga niya, anong mas nakuha ko? Paano ako mas umangat sa mga nahuli nyo? Kayo nga yung nakahuli sa mga prince. Diba? So, we can see that he knows how to talk them down, di ba? So, which is good. Pero dito si Jephthah, nagtanong siya, so bakit niyo ako gustong patayin ngayon? And then dito, bigla sa verse 2, sa baba, sa following verses after he asked those questions, kinuha na niya yung mga tao niya, tapos lalabanan na niya yung mga Ephraimites. So then Jephthah gathered all of the men of Gilead, they fought and defeated Ephraim. Which is like, hindi naman kailangan, di ba? He could have used diplomacy like he did before he went to war with the Ammonites. Kasi nung Ammonites, bago sila nakipagbakbakan sa Ammonites, kinakausap pa niya, di ba, para ma-resolve yung issue. Pero talagang kinailangan ng war to really defeat them in war. So, he went to war. But for the Ephraimites, I'm not sure bakit ganun yung response niya. He gathered all his men and fought against the Ephraimites and of course defeated them. Ayun. So we can see the contrast between the character of the two judges. Yung effect of keeping a cool head as well in heated conversations like this. It's really difficult to do, lalo pag natitrigger ka na din, di ba? Mainit na yung ulo ng kausap mo. Ikaw rin, natitrigger na din. Lunok ng away para hindi ka lang, di ba, makipag-away din. But it is the right thing to do, to keep a cool head and talk them down from their anger so that we can resolve everything with diplomacy. Ayun. And another way for us to, again, highlight our Christianity, our Master Jesus, because Jesus was a man of peace. Diba? There were people looking to accusing him, wanting to kill him, wanting to capture him, and they captured him. But he kept his cool. Diba? May time na nagalit siya, but all of that because of sin and the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. But all throughout his life, hindi siya nag-instigate ng war, hindi siya nag-instigate ng anything. He was really calm and just a good teacher, a healer, and everything. Peaceful, peace man, man of peace. So we are to also emulate the same lifestyle, diba? So layo tayo sa away. Ayun. And then yung second point ko naman, with or without you, God will still prevail. Diba? Jephthah didn't need the help of Ephraim because the Lord was with him, which is a very strong reminder for us na hindi tayo importante, parang ganun eh. With or without us, the Lord will always prevail. Diba? Jephthah called for his brothers, the Ephraimites. Hindi sila pumunta. But still, the Lord delivered them, their enemies, into their hands. They still won the war. So with or without Ephraim, they're going to win because the Lord brings the victory to to everyone. So let's take it as a privilege when we are called, diba? Because we share in that victory. Wag nating layuan yung calling natin, yung call to serve, call to service, mga ganun. Because we share, paano ba yun? Could you imagine if Ephraim went when Jephthah called? So they share in that victory because the Lord gave them victory. So for us, if we keep saying no, then how are we going to share in service? How are we going to share in victory? In victory in Jesus and everything. Because we just, iniiwasan lang natin yung service. And we are to serve all our lives. Diba? That's who we are, that we are stewards. So, yun yung second point ko. With or without you, the Lord will win. There's victory in Jesus. So, sali na, di ba? Sali lang ng sali. Go lang ng go. When someone calls, go. Ayun. Yun yung second point ko, kuya.
Wow, amen bro. At yun din yung gustong sabihin kanina na medyo hindi ko masabi. Yung sa second point mo, yung sa opportunity, when the opportunity comes, no? Let's think about it and take it. Kumbaga siguro kung hindi mo i-take, di panindigan mo na hindi mo tinake, hindi okay lang. Parang ganun. Pero ang pakit kasi ng response nila, hindi na nila tinake, tapos sila pa yung nanisi, parang gano'n. Oh, why didn't you call us ganito? We will burn you with your house down, di ba? Grabe. Pero yung better lesson, which is a reminder na kung bad experience man yun, di ba? Take good lessons from that, which is yung sinasabi ni Brother O'Neill, no? That if opportunity comes, let's try to take it, no? Or take the risk, ganito. Para kung victorious, you share in the victory din, di ba? You share in the victory. Or kung hindi man victorious, kung sakali man, hindi naman natin hinihilig na mag-fail or something. Pero at least, di ba, ma-share yung burden kahit papaano kung ganun ba yung patutungan, di ba? So, on both sides, win-win pa rin, di ba? And better, far better. Nakikita ko talaga yung ganung case. Thank you for that, Brother O'Neill. Tapos yung sa second, sa first naman yung sa sinabi mo regarding the response of Jephthah, i-compare natin dun sa pagka-diplomatic niya dun sa Ammonites, di ba? Kinausap niya, he sent 3 messengers bago sila sumugod, tapos hindi nakinig. Dito, gusto niya ng away, sige, away, no? Bakit kaya ganun? Tapos brothers niya pa tong mga ganito. Napaisip ako dun. Pero ano sa tingin mo, O'Neill? Bakit ganun?
Actually, nung umpisa, you gain a certain level of pride eh. Self-pride when you win wars or battles like that. And the Ammonites, naman may pattern eh. Pagka may sumasakop sa Israel or any tribe of Israel, they're really oppressed. Talagang lugmok ang situation nila. Diba? Mahirap, oppressed sila. So, to gain that win, may level of self-pride eh. So, I'm not sure kung ganun. Pero just my assumption or speculation. Yumabang siya, maybe he felt like I can defeat anyone. So, who are you to challenge me right now? Parang ganun. So, I will defeat you. Parang ganun yung kaisip ko lang. War mentality.
I see. Good point. Possible at napaka-possible pride, no? Talagang it's also one of the root of sin talaga, no? When pride comes, it would cause you to do other bad things such as this, na alam mo yun, kapatiran mo, lalabanan mo din mismo. At tama nga naman, so kung natalo ni Jephthah itong mga Ammonites na ito na powerful, sinong pipigil sa kanya para talunin din itong mga sabi natin Ephraimites? Baka napikon din siya, no? Or nagalit din siya. Or on the other side of the coin, baka deserve din kaya ng Ephraimites kasi complain sila ng complain. Sabi nga ni Leah dito, sabi nga ni Leah, they seek for credit but the offering of help isn't there. From the time of Gideon to Jephthah, the Ephraimites are being habitual complainers. This is much like a consistent complaining. Good point. Thank you, Leah, for this. Kaya napaisip din ako doon. Pero ang pangit talaga din pag, alam mo yun, complain ng complain. Sa totoo lang, kasalanan, you brought it upon yourself din. Diba? The Ephraimites brought it upon themselves kasi tinawag sila, hindi sila nagpakita. So, ano ba talaga? Ano ang gusto nila? Yeah. Thank you, Leia, and thank you, O'Neil. Ang daming daming sides of the coin din pala dito sa part na ito. Pero, meron pa ba mga kapatid? Tayong pwedeng pag-usapan dito sa conflict with the Ephraimites. Maraming pala, insights. Mga 3, 4, 3 to 4. Okay, so andyan yung sa complaining part, taking of opportunities, the response to conflict. Kasi may conflict, so how would you manage the conflict? Conflict management. Conflict management tayo dito. Kaso parang hindi na-manage ng maayos, no? Dinaan sa violence. Tapos hindi ko alam kung anong ko dito. Weird or nakakatawa ba? Para yung may pronunciation test sila, di ba? Para mahuli kung may tumatakas siguro or may gustong mag-cross na Ephraimite. No? Hindi nila ma-pronounce yung word na yun. Shibulet. So, naging Sibulet. So, yun yung magde-determine kung nagsasabi rin ng totoo tong mga Ephraimite na to. Yan. Ang dami, 42,000 na maari namang maiwasan, sabi nga ni Brother Uni. Kaso hindi. Dahil sa sinimulan ng Ephraimites, and then of course, yung sa response ni Jephthah, sabi nga natin, could be because of pride or it could be punishment for the Ephraimites themselves. Yep. Okay? Kung wala na mga kapatid, may comments pa ba kayo dyan? Pwede nyo ihabol. Pwede nating basahin natin mamaya ulit. And for now, let's proceed with the rest of the verses. And ito na yung 3 judges. Ibzan, Elon, and Abdon. Brother O'Neil, 8 to 15. Yeah.
Alright. Ayan. Verse 8. Ibzan, who was from Bethlehem, judged Israel after Jephthah and had 30 sons. He gave his 30 daughters in marriage to men outside the tribe and brought back 30 wives for his sons from outside the tribe. Ibzan judged Israel 7 years, and when he died, he was buried in Bethlehem. Elon, who was from Zebulun, judged Israel after Ibzan. He judged Israel 10 years, and when he died, he was buried in Aijalon in the land of Zebulun. After Elon, Abdon, son of Hillel, who was from Pirathon, judged Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who rode on 70 donkeys. Abdon judged Israel 8 years, and when he died, he was buried in Pirathon, in the land of Ephraim, in the hill country of the Amalekites.
Okay, there you go mga kapatid at mga ka-awesome 3 judges. Naalala ko lang ulit yung discussion regarding this, similar with Tola and Jer. Tapos parang almost similar din yung details, pero napapaisip ako bakit kaya sa kahaba-haba ng mga ibang judges, ito namang mga ito, ang iksi lang talaga. Like dito si Elon, yan lang, parang he judged Israel for how many years and then he died. Yun na yun. Diba? Parang ano kayong punto na pinapakita dito. So, sabihin ko ulit yung napag-usapan from the last time. Isipin ko lang ulit kung yun ba talaga. Kaya ipasa ko muna kay O'Neil, baka may nakikita siya dito mga insights or reflections dito sa 3 judges natin. Kay Elon, Abdon, and Ibzan.
Ibzan.
Okay, go bro.
Sige. Ayun. Nung una nabasa ko siya, parang ang una ko napansin, ano to? Parang nagfe-flex lang naman sila, di ba? Si Ibzan, ang dami niyang anak. Tapos may donkey yung isa, 70, ganun. So parang, bakit meron dito? Pero as I read the commentary, just for parang to support my reflection on the verses, in the number of their offsprings, no, yung sons, daughters, and then yung mga donkey, their possession, basically everything they gained in this life shows prosperity. So it shows that they prospered, no? And whenever people prosper in the scriptures, it is noted it's all a blessing. So as a judge, they are blessed by the Lord. And also, ang pinaka makukuha ko talaga dito is that as a judge, no, as a servant of the Lord, you may not do great things as compared to other judges like Gideon or Jephthah or yung mga nauna pa, di ba? Yung wherein super detailed yung mga nakisulat sa buhay nila. It could be just as simple as you judged for, kunyari si Ibzan, you judged for how many years? 7 years, di ba? Tapos, minimal judging, di ba? Yung routinary judging or routinary overlooking God's people. Pero that will not be overlooked by the Lord. Your story will still be told. Your work, your service will be remembered. Parang ganun. So there's no small work that will be walang mali-discount na trabaho or serbisyo sa Diyos. Lahat yan maalala niya. And then that's just how I took it, no? There may be other Christians that are doing great things, and then yung efforts natin may seem like it's nothing, but it's still acknowledged and it's still going to be written, diba? Written in history, written in kunyari in a way of saying it's written in the heart of the Lord, parang ganun, because He sees our service. Tapos we keep saying that the book of Acts don't really end where we end in that particular chapter. It continues to still be written. Wala lang nagsusulat. Pero what we're doing now as Christians, as God's people, it's still part of the book of Acts. Diba? We continue the story of the acts of the Holy Spirit, how we act on the love of Jesus for us. Diba? So we continue to write that story. And no matter how big or how small your efforts are in service, no, like these judges, na wala namang super specific or big time story, but they are still written, they are still remembered, they're still part of the story, the scriptures, they still continue to inspire people, they're in history, all because of their service as they served as judge. And for us, let's not be huwag tayong panghinaan ng loob kung may nakikita tayong mas bonggang-bongga na alam mo yung kuya natin or ate natin na talagang super powered na sa servisyo. We continue to serve in the small ways we can, because what matters is we please the Lord, not men. Yun. So continue to serve no matter how small it is. As long as it is genuine, it's big. It's big in the heart of the Lord. Ngayon.
Thank you, Brother O'Neill, for the insight. No, it's a really good way of looking at it. No, these things. I think related pa rin naman yung sharing ko or yung similar reflection kay Tola and Jer, the two judges in the past na parang ganito rin yung kanilang story na napakaiksi. And legacy yung gusto kong sabihin din siguro na ayun, ano kayong maiiwan mo? Yun, maliit man or something, if it's for the Lord, of course that's good. Pero kung hindi, isip-isip din, no? Isip-isip tayo. Ano bang legacy ang iiwan mo? For example, siguro, if I were to look at Ibzan, yun lang ba? Yung sa wealth lang ba? Kung yun lang, medyo, isip-isip ako dyan. Pero, kunwari, pag si Elon, example, kunwari, pag judging, pero if he did this for the Lord, wow. Okay yan, especially for the Lord. Parang ganoon lang yung comparison na gusto kong sabihin or nakita dito. Tapos napaisip ako sa part na kay Ibzan, yung sa outside the tribe, ano? He gave his 30 daughters in marriage to men outside the tribe and brought back 30 wives for his sons from outside the tribe. So, anong outside the tribe kaya to? Napa-reflect lang ako na kung ito man ay parang hindi Israelite na ako, alam na natin kung anong mangyayari dyan. Parang they're intermarrying to Canaanites or to And then foreign nations which will again influence them badly. Kung yun nga ito. Pero kung outside the tribe na ibang tribe lang, siguro okay lang naman. Pero nako, mukhang red flag kung ibang nations dito sa part na ito, which will eventually cause them their downfall ulit. Tapos si Elon naman, na-mention yung donkeys, ang dami no, parang wealth talaga, 40 sons, 30 grandsons, ang dami. And yeah, ano kayong point ng 70 donkeys? Wala, ang inisip ko masyado. Anyway, Abdon judged Israel 8 years, and when he died, he was buried in Pirathon in the land of Ephraim. May meaning ba to? Siguro, hindi ko pa ma-absorb, pero yun lang yung maisip ko. In general, legacy na maiiwan natin, or sila, ito yung mga na-record. So, whether good or bad, we can learn something from it. Pero sa atin, sana ang legacy iwan natin, malaki man or maliit, sabi nga ni Unil, if it's for the Lord, all good yan. So yun sana yung focus natin. Okay, may meron ka pa bang insight, bro?
Addition lang, no? Kasi sinabi mo yung legacy, how you are going to be remembered. Tapos, nalala ko lang ulit si Abimelech. Ang haba ng story niya, di ba? Pero yung legacy iniwan niya, hindi kasi maganda di ba? How he became king, what he did to his brothers, how he died, tapos civil war nangyari sa kanila. So ang haba nating binasa yun, pinutur-putur pa natin yung story niya, ng buhay niya. Hindi naman maganda, di ba? Though we learned a lot from his life, pero still, he lived a selfish kind of living Pero dito sa tatlong judges na to, si Ibzan, Elon, and Abdon, they're called judges. They judge Israel. So it means, it may not as bongacious. Is that really a word? I don't know. Hindi siya as bongga katulad ni Gideon or ni Jephthah na they went to war and then the Lord handed over the enemies into their hands, ganun, no? Pero wala naman sinabi ding masama, 'di ba? So they judged and they led, parang ganun, Israel for how many years? All three of them. But it was good. So it may be short, 'di ba? Tapos walang malaking highlight, pero it's for the Lord. Compared to naman sa buhay ni Abimelech na ang haba-haba, bonggang-bongga, pero naman hindi para sa Diyos, para sa sarili niya. So choose your legacy, 'di ba? May it be simple but it's for the Lord, then that's okay, 'di ba? That's great. Kaysa naman sa ang daming pwedeng ikwento ng mga nakikilamay pag namatay ka na, pero ang sasama ng mga kinakwento nila, huwag mo nang gawin, 'di ba? It's not a legacy worth leaving and worth remembering as well. Ayun lang, contrast din lang.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for those insights. Additional insight, Brother O'Neill. Sabi naman ni Frances dito, indeed, Kuya O, big or small, it matters to the Lord. Even if others don't see it, God sees. Also, let's continue encouraging others. Yes, indeed. Thank you for this, Frances. And actually, hindi ko alam kung big or small ang tingin ng Diyos kapag ginagawa natin sa Kanya. Yung, ang tawag ng, yung mga servisyong ginagawa natin sa Kanya, no? It's all big for Him. I think that's just how I see it. Okay, thank you, Frances. And si Arnel, I remember the women washing the feet of Jesus. Jesus said, wherever the gospel preached, these women include, yung part na si Mary, I think that's Mary, Mary of Bethany. The alabaster jar was broken, tas may expensive perfume na ginamit para malinisin yung paa ni Jesus. So, yeah, the name of that person. Naalala ko may mga tao dun sa Bible na hindi na-mention yung pangalan, never na-mention. Parang hindi worth it na ma-mention yung pangalan. Pero itong mga judges na ito na-mention. So, quick addition after this. Responses na po tayo or takeaways. Kaya i-ready nyo na rin po para ayos. Okay, mga kapatid, yung last insight ko lang dito is that I believe in this mention of the judges, don't forget, the cycle is still there. Naulit yung cycle ulit. Ano yung cycle na andyan? Israel. Bakit may mga judges? Kasi the Israelites once again did evil in the eyes of the Lord. So they ask for help. They cry out to the Lord. And so the Lord will hear them and bring up judges. And the judges will have them. And they will have peace for how many years? But then after that, they sin again, kaya kailangan ulit ng judge, and then si Elon, and so on. The cycle happens dito kahit maiksi, hindi na na-detalye, pero ganun na naman dito. So siguro naumay nagsulat. Ito na may sulat. yun yung kasi recurring con dito sa judges, and it's just sad. At nung nag-scroll ako ng mabilisan, yung next judge pala, parang siya na yung last, si Samson. Okay, familiar name, si Samson, ano? At napakahaba yung story niya, medyo detailed. Tapos medyo hindi na maganda yung part na yun. Pa-downfall na yung mga Israelites sa part na yun. Malapit na rin tayo sa sinasabi kong, grabe tong mga Israelites na to. How far they have come, far away from the Lord, grabe. Ayun, so it's just sad na yung cycle is still existing. Pero good news, of course, we find hope in Jesus Christ. So ayun po, that is our episode or our chapter reading for tonight. But before we end the live, please do share to us your takeaways or your final responses, anything else that you'd like to share for tonight's episode. Okay, so Brother O'Neill, can you share to us your conclusion or responses for tonight? Go ahead.
Ayun. Sige. So, sa buhay ni Jephthah, may parang pattern ako napansin wherein he's kind of impulsive. Yung first instance was when he made a vow before he went against the Ammonites na he knew already that the Lord was with him. So that should already been enough of an assurance that they're going to win. Pero parang may pa siya nakipag-bargain pa siya. Sabi pa niya, sige Lord, kung mananalo ko ngayon, kung sabi niya anumang lalabas sa pinto na yan, i-offer ko so as burnt offering. That vow, though he meant well, he wanted to offer something to the Lord, it was impulsive, it was rash, diba? That's the first instance. Second instance was when the Ephraimites challenged him. So he asked, or nakipag-usap muna din siya sa Ephraimites. He explained his side. Pero after that, he gathered his men and went to battle against the Ephraimites, which is again an impulse. It could have been ended there, or they could have continued to discuss about it. Pero his next instinct was to gather his men and defeat and conquer the Ephraimites. So may tendency siya to be impulsive. So how do my response to that is, it is again highlighting the scriptures again, is highlighting our human tendencies where we can just be influenced by our emotions at that time, diba? Before going to war and being challenged, mataas ang emotion niyan diba? Kay Jephthah. Before going to war, hype na hype yan. Tapos after going to war, being challenged by his half brothers, pwedeng uminit yung ulo niya, pwedeng napikon din siya. So let's help that tendency of ours as humans, slow to speak. Naalala ko to share ni Jane to isip muna bago magsalita. We have to, and mas importante, isip muna bago gumawa din. So we have to think over things before we act on impulse, we act on our emotions at that, lalo na in the heat of the moment. Second is greed and pride will not really benefit us anything. Ano nga di sila, di ba? Kasali sila sa deadly sins, di ba? Greed and pride. And nakita natin yan sa buhay naman sa attitude ng mga Ephraimites. Init na init sila makipag-away, they take pride, they are jealous as well because their brothers are winning without them, diba? So there's no point in being jealous. If we see our brothers winning in victory, instead of being jealous, let's just celebrate with them or celebrate for them. Parang ganun, diba? Let's look on the bright side and just celebrate for each one's victory. Instead of, alam mo yun, nagpaparamihan tayo ng mga badges ng medals, why can't we just celebrate on each other's medals? Way better, di ba? And ultimately, we celebrate in the Lord because of those medals or milestones. Diba? We acknowledge the Lord all the time. And lastly is our service, yung sa huli, yung 3 judges. Continue to serve. Do not compare to compete. Compare to learn. I'm all for that. Compare to learn, compare to improve. We grow together, diba, as brothers and sisters. We learn from each other. So, do not compare na you see your efforts are small, huwag tayo mapanghinaan ng loob. Continue to serve because the size of your service does not matter to the Lord because you're doing it for Him anyway. And He knows your capabilities. He knows your heart, most importantly. So if it is wholehearted what you're doing, then keep doing it. And as for the other brothers who sees our brothers who are continue serving, sabi din ni Francis, it is very important to encourage each other to keep serving because encouragement is very important in service. Kasi aminin natin, human as we are, we still long for acknowledgement. We still long for that pat on the back and good job, diba? We still long for that. That kind of encourages us, recharges us, and pushes us, motivates us to keep serving, diba? So, wag natin ipagkait sa mga kapatid natin yun na pat them on the back, good job, keep going, serve with them, diba? And just give positive reinforcement or push to them so that everyone keeps serving and walang madi-discourage. Ayun yung mga response ko ngayong gabi.
Awesome and amazing responses, Brother O'Neill. Thank you. Amen ako doon, and I'd like to copy-paste those responses. Yun na rin din naman yung gusto kong i-share, i-highlight ko na rin na yun, yung nasabi ni Brother O'Neill on encouragement. Again, yung huwag natin gayahin yung mga negatibong nakita natin ngayon sa complaining ng mga Ephraimites, yung impulsiveness ni Jephthah. Okay. Yeah. At paano natin yung iwasan? Sa una pa lang is yung sa trust and obey talaga. Trust and obey. Kung in-obey nila yung part na yung driving out the Canaanites, siguro yung influence hindi siguro na most likely hindi sila mahawaan kasi they drove away or they cut their enemies out of their lives. But again, kahit na papunta tayo sa medyo sad part ng judges talaga, there's still hope. There is still hope. Okay? And we are looking forward to that. At hindi pala, meron na pala. The hope found in Jesus Christ. So again, if you are in this point na alam mo yun, parang hopeless or daming problema sa kasalanan, ganyan, or challenges sa buhay, again, there's still hope found in Christ Jesus. Yun lang yung closing ko siguro na part. Okay? Mga ka-awesome, meron ba kayong mga sharing chats? Joshua, yan. Solid amen, brothers. All glory belongs to God. Dapat genuine faith and abstinence from our own selfish desires that lead to greed and away with God. Yes. Solid amen din to this takeaway or response, Brother Joshua. I think that's a good ending. Pero kung meron pa dyan, ihabol nyo lang at mababasa pa rin yan ng ating mga ka-awesome. Okay, kung wala na, thank you so much for joining us again, mga ka-ABCs at mga ka-awesome sa episode na ito. At abangan ang susunod pang episode. Ayan na ang next nating judge or last judge, si Samson. Very familiar, Samson and Delilah. Tignan natin. Okay? Abangan po bukas, and as we do that, please do stay healthy, not just physically but spiritually. Stay awesome and stay with Jesus. And pahabol from Arnel, timely ang lesson, lalo ngayon maraming discouragement na nangyari, need pa rin natin mag-encourage about isa. Yes, always timely at sinasabi nga natin, the struggle is real daily, kaya kailangan din natin ng encouragement daily. And we are trying to do that here sa daily hours, which happens daily except Sunday. Okay. Pero may Sunday dialogue naman. Kaya parang parehas lang din. Okay. Alright. Si Ken, thank you. Bukas ulit. Alright, bukas ulit. See you. Good night. Thank you everyone. Thank you Brother O'Neill for the time, for the sharing and all. Thank you mga ka-ABC sa mga comments, sa mga nagstay, sa inyong lahat, sa mga silent viewers, sa mga team replay, at sa mga hindi ko pa nabanggit. Maraming salamat. God bless you all. Fellow Christians, fellow believers, let the light shine wherever we are and let the love of Jesus be seen in us. God bless you all and don't forget to pray. Hope to see you again tomorrow. God bless po. See you. Closing in 3, 2, and 1.